Citigroup is out. Thank you. Leslie Picker. This better be good.
It's pretty good. I see a slight top-line beat for Citi of $20.7 billion in revenue. Net income, $3.2 billion, up about 10% from last year. And the firm reported EPS of $1.52 per share. Shares currently down about 1.42% on this release. Expenses down 2%. And that's despite the $136 million fines, if you guys recall, announced earlier this week by the Fed and the OCC over internal controls. The savings, though, did come from the org simplification and stranded costs related to recent divestitures. Within Citi's 5 businesses, I want to highlight markets here. At the firm's investor day last month, CFO Mark Mason said revenue would be down in that division, but business has clearly been strong over the last few weeks of the quarter because markets revenue was actually up 6% thanks to equities. The firm also clocked a $400 million gain to that Visa stake restructuring that we saw with JP Morgan earlier this morning. Banking jumped 38% to $1.6 billion, thanks largely to debt capital markets as the IPO market remains muted, and wealth up 2%. That's a closely watched division that's undergone a shakeup under the newish, he's been there about 10 months or so, head Andy Sieg. Services personal banking also saw revenue higher in the quarter. CEO Jane Fraser saying in the release that the firm has made a, quote, incredible amount of progress in simplification, both strategically and organizationally. She said Citi will continue to execute our transformation and our strategy so we can meet our medium-term targets and continue to further improve our returns over time. Citi's saying in 2022 that it would achieve a return on tangible equity of 11 to 12% in the following 3 years. So we'll hear more from Citi when I sit down with CFO Mark Mason, live from Citi's headquarters. You can catch that interview this afternoon on the Exchange, guys.
They're in the middle of one of the biggest restructurings and turnarounds ever that anyone's ever tried to do.
Yeah.
Do we just take her word for it that it's progressing as planned? People have, they're skeptical it can even be done with something that size.
There's a lot of skepticism out there. There's a lot of bullishness, though, too. I mean, the stock has performed really well over the last year. And the fact that you do see some significant cost savings already due to that org simplification in this morning's earnings release says something. And in the statement, she is reiterating their medium-term targets that were set out in 2022.
Which means there's long-term targets. So it's going to take a long time to get this.
This is a very, very difficult task. It's something that I think a lot of people have been burned by Citi in the past.
Too. There's like 10 things she's trying to do.
But the macro backdrop for banks overall is a positive one and has turned positive as the year has gone on. So if you pair that with the booster of the restructuring story, that's the case. That's a bull case for Citi.
What's book? Right now, does it say?
Let me pull book for you.
99.
It's below book.
2%.
Versus 2 times book.
I see 85.34.
So that's still a reflection of
in real time.
How far they still want to.
Book value per share 99.70 at quarter end.
Selling at 66. Should be a buy.
Oh, sorry. I see tangible book is 85.34.
85.
Book value is 97.87.
Okay.
Just to clarify.